guys, welcome to my channel. So as you can see by the title, I'm finally getting top surgery. It has been a long time coming, like honestly a real long time coming. And even when I finally started the process of getting top surgery, it still took like 2 months in order to like get everything together. But I'm finally getting top surgery. It's on April the 25th and today is April the 24th. So today is going to be a busy day because I got to do a lot of cleaning and everything. And I also got a haul of recovery items that I bought that I want to show you guys. So any, trans guys or any persons out there that, is planning on getting top surgery, you want to see like my list of items that I got you covered. So I want to give a disclaimer though that don't feel like you need to get all the items that I got. So don't feel pressure at all, like, oh, I must have to get this or I must have to get that. Like, don't feel pressure at all, because I've seen like so many top surgery vlogs where people show like the list of items that they got. And some of the like necessary items that trans guys had got, I didn't even get because I felt like for my lifestyle, for my life, I feel like it's not really gonna be necessary for me. So don't feel pressure to like get everything that I got, because I sure didn't. So first I'm gonna show you guys the pillows. So I got a pillow pet. It's a Appa from Avatar: The Last Airbender pillow pet, and I honestly forgot these things existed. So when I saw this, I was like, oh, this is so cute, this Appa. And it's pretty much funny because it's like at the right time of when the Netflix TV show came out, and just there's a lot of projects going on with the Avatar: The Last Airbender brand. So I was like, I'm gonna get this. But yeah, it's a pillow pet, and I got this pillow pet because I really wanted like a good size pillow that I could also kind of like hold and just give me support. And so the pillow pet is pretty much perfect for that, because I could lay my head on it, and I could also like have it under me for support, or like have it against my chest for support. And yeah, just really cute. And you can also like have it like this, or have it laid down like that. And the next, which is totally necessary, is a neck pillow. So I got the Spirited Away Haku water dragon neck pillow. And yeah, this is one of the things that is really necessary that I knew I needed to get, because with sleeping, you're going to be sleeping at an incline. So basically, you're going to be sleeping like sitting up. So it's really important to have something supporting your neck, so then your neck is just not getting stiff or whatnot. So I decided to get this because it's like really cute and everything. And yeah. So next I had got a couple of button up shirts, because again, I'm after surgery, you're not going to be able to like raise your arms up and put on your t-shirts. So I got this shirt from Goodwill for $5 to wear to and from the hospital. And then I also got this really cool like Deadpool bun up shirt. This shirt was the most expensive. It was like $16, and yeah, it's really cool. Unfortunately, I got a really big size. I should have gotten like a size down, but at the time I was trying to think of like comfortability. So it's like I don't know like how big the drains are gonna be, how big the tubes are gonna be and whatnot. So I wanted to get a shirt to like sleep in and just wear around the house that wasn't like too restricting to my body. But yeah, so we shall see how this works out. And then next I got an electric toothbrush. I have seen a couple of trans guys say that, you know, electric toothbrush is helpful, so you're not like doing this motion with the regular toothbrush, and you could just like, you know, like that, and it's, you know, easier on your arms. So I got an electric toothbrush. And last but not least, I got some cough drops, because again, I've seen a lot of trans guys say like, you know, after surgery you're going to be, you know, your throat's going to be dry, you're going to be coughing because you have that tube in your throat. So they suggested cough drops, so I got cough drops. So yeah, as you can see, I didn't get that many items, because the other items that trans guys have suggested that I felt like I didn't really need was getting that pillow incline, so it could, you know, you could lean, lay against and sleep. I decided to not get that because I don't know, I just feel like I don't really need it, and I could just use one of my pillows as like a little incline thing. And then I also decided not to get a mastectomy pillow because, you know, they say like, oh, it'll protect your chest, you know, it could give your arms some support, but I just feel like I don't really need all that. I could just use my pillow pad for like protection and for like arm support. And then I also seen some trans guys get like water bottles, which again, you know, I feel like I don't really need a whole water bottle. I could just use like a straw with like my drinks and everything. And also wipes, which I really was like, nah, I don't need any wipes, because if I feel the need to like wipe my underarms, I could just go to the bathroom, because my bathroom is literally like across the hall. So I could just literally, you know, take, you know, a regular towel and just, you know, scrub out my arms that way instead of just, you know, getting wipes. So yeah, those are the things that I felt like, you know, I didn't really need. I've seen a lot of trans guys say like, oh, you need this, you need that, you know, this was really helpful. So yeah, those are the items that I did feel like it was necessary for me. So some of these items might not be necessary for you. You might feel like, oh, well, I might need a mastectomy pillow, or I might need, you know, wipes or whatnot. So it all just based on, you know, your life, your lifestyle, what you feel comfortable with. So about my surgery, my surgeon is Dr. Mark Walker, and he stays in Jackson, Mississippi. So if any of you live in Mississippi or Jackson, or if you're willing to like travel for your surgery, that's who my surgeon is. And I did do research on him before going to my consultation, and I just seen like good things about him, heard good things about him. And then when I had my consultation, I really liked him. Like, he made a couple jokes and everything. So yeah, I felt really comfortable with him. He also showed me like before and after pictures and everything. But yeah, and I think he said that I'll be getting like the double incision surgery thing, because I do have a big chest. You know, you can't see it like under the shirt and everything, but I do have a pretty large chest. So I think that's what he said. I have like the double incision or something like that. So he said that I will be having drains. So at first I was worried about the whole drain situation, but I think I would rather have that than have like compression vest, because the couple trans guys I've heard, you know, had the compression chest, they said that it was horrible. Like, they really didn't like it. It was just like too much for them. So I'm like, okay, yeah, maybe I will prefer like the drains and everything. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. So in the meantime, between time, I gotta go clean. So I really want to like wash my bed, make sure everything is like really clean. I gotta dust my room, gotta prepare stuff and everything. So in the meantime, while I'm washing and cleaning, I want to show you guys a couple clips that I filmed like a week or so ago of when I went and got some food, you know, for top surgery, so for recovery. So here's the clip. Hey, so I'm about to go to the store with my mom, because the one thing that a lot of people don't mention in their top surgery vlogs is that when you're recovering from top surgery, you pretty much have to be on a diet. And I didn't know you had to be on one until I had done some research, but you basically had to be on a low sodium, low sugar, high fiber, no red meat, and no dairy type of diet. And I think you have to be on the diet for at least the first week, maybe two. So hopefully I'll be able to find some nice and yummy foods at the store, since I'm gonna have to, you know, not have any other good stuff, because I love dairy. Like, I love cheese, you know, I love to eat red meat like ground beef and, you know, all of that. And, you know, I drink a lot of juices too. So hopefully we'll be able to find something good to eat. And when we come back, I'll try to do a grocery haul so you guys could see, you know, the things that I picked out, the things that, you know, you're supposed to eat and whatnot. So finding stuff to eat during recovery was a lot harder than I thought, because a lot of packaged canned stuff was like full of sodium, and like I said, I can't have, you know, a lot of sodium, a lot of sugar and everything. So for right now, I was only able to get these 4 things, but next week I will be getting some fresh fruit, because fresh fruit, you know, should have, like, you know, not a lot of sugar and everything. So yeah, I was only able to get this 2 Capri Suns that's half the sugar, and then these mandarin oranges. I swear, like, when I was looking at the a lot of these different fruits in the cups, they were like filled with sugar. So this was the only thing that wasn't really that didn't have a lot of sugar and didn't have a lot of artificial sugar. And then I also got some unsweetened applesauce. So yeah, I'm honestly not really gonna, which I did hear from some trans guys say that they didn't have that much of an appetite anyway. So it might be the same thing for me, where I might not have much of an appetite, so I might not be eating much anyways. But yeah, this is all I got for now until I get some fresh fruit. So it's now 10 p.m. and I'm about to pack my bag that I'm going to be taking to the hospital tomorrow. So it's really like not that much that I'm going to be taking, because I kind of feel like I probably don't really need much more than this, since, you know, I'm most likely just going to be getting discharged after a couple hours after the surgery. So I got my portable phone charger to charge my phone if, you know, it ends up running out of battery. And then I got some cherry cough drops, because again, you know, I'm going to be under anesthesia, and they're probably going to put that tube in my throat, and, you know, just so, you know, my throat gets a bit like moist and everything, you know, the cough drops will help with, you know, the dryness. And then I'm taking my small Canon camera with me, so that I could try to like film, you know, some clips of like the room and just, you know, talking to y'all. And then last but not least, I'm going to be taking my wallet to, you know, carry my ID with me and everything. So that's pretty much it. So this will probably be my last, you know, time talking to y'all the night before. And I'm just going to be spending some time watching The Circle, and yeah. So I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Hey y'all, so it is now 3 a.m. and I wanted to show you what I'm going to be wearing to the hospital. So I hope you can see, because I'm wearing like all black, but I got the black button up shirt that I'm going to be wearing to and from the hospital. And then I got some black shorts, so I wanted to be, you know, really comfortable and everything. And got my bag, so yeah, that's pretty much gonna be my outfit. And yeah, so I'll see y'all when I get there. Hey y'all, sorry for the weird angle. You're gonna have to get used to it, because I'm not trying to you know, exert myself with my arms, but I just got home from surgery, so so it is would you call this like day 1 or whatever? I don't know, but yeah, I just wanted to like talk a bit about my surgery and how I'm feeling. So the type of surgery I got was a bilateral vasectomy with no nipple grafts. So that means I chose to not keep my nipples, and yeah, I decided to not keep my nipples because they don't really serve me any purpose. And I wanted to have like one less thing to worry about during recovery, because since I got the bilateral mastectomy, and I had a pretty large chest, I had to have drains. So it's like I already have to worry about having drains and everything, so I just didn't want to really worry about taking care of my nipples, which I honestly kind of like the look of no nipples. I remember originally when I saw trans guys with no nipples, and I was like, that's kind of weird. I think I might want to keep my nipples. But like after a while, as I kept seeing like more and more pictures of trans guys with no nipples, I'm like, actually I like that look. Like I like that look of androgyny, so it's like my body isn't exactly like a cis man, and I really like that, because I want my body to be just for me. Like I don't want it to be or like look like exactly like a cis man or anybody else's. So yeah, I like that I don't have any nipples anymore. And yeah, so as far as the surgery, it went pretty well. It was pretty like jarring how like one minute I was laying on the table and I had like the mask over my mouth and my eyes were open, and then the next minute I was waking up really drowsy from surgery. Like that was honestly surreal, because I was like, wait, what just happened? But yeah, but other than that, everything has been going pretty okay. So I am able to like raise my arms up. Of course, I'm not going to like raise them up above my head, but for the most part, I am able to like use my arms, because I think I have seen some trans guys say like, oh, their arms were like in pain, or they were like uncomfortable, and that they couldn't use their arms. But for me, thankfully, I'm able to like use my arms and everything. So yeah, and right now I have no appetite, which I did read that some trans guys didn't have an appetite on the first day. Even my surgeon said like you'll probably have no appetite. And then as far as the diet goes, he pretty much said that I could eat wherever I want, which I was really surprised, because I really thought that I was going to have to be on a strict diet. But I'm honestly glad I'm not going to have to be on a strict diet, because I feel like it's just really hard to like stick to like low sugar, low sodium, high fiber, no red meat, no dairy, and all that. Which for the most part, I think I still would like lessen, like not eat as much dairy, because I still have to worry about constipation, because that is a thing when you take pain meds from after having top surgery. So I'm not going to bother with eating a lot of dairy, or maybe try to like eat no dairy at all, just so I don't have to worry about a lot of constipation. But yeah, so this is pretty much what it looks like. And yeah, this is my drains, which is honestly really different from the drains that I saw most trans guys have. So I was a bit concerned about being able to work with it, because the drains I saw other trans guys have were just like this little pouch that you screw off, you dump the blood, and then you put it back on, and that's it. So having this like contraption where it has like these buttons and then you use batteries, it is a bit jarring, but I do kind of like that I can get rid of the blood bag and just put a new one on, so I don't have to worry about emptying the blood bag and then putting it back on. I could just throw the whole thing away, so that's a plus. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So I will be going back in a week to get the drains taken out. So in the meantime, between time, I'm gonna just, you know, hang in there and just, you know, try to like relax as much as possible. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to record anything at all while I was at the hospital, which I was honestly disappointed about, because I wanted to at least like record, you know, a little bit. But this situation that happened was completely like different than what I imagined, because I thought that I was going to be taken to my own hospital room. So I was planning on doing like a hospital room tour, you know, just talking a bit, and then, you know, get ready for surgery. But they basically took me to this open area. The only thing that you know, shielded me was like this curtain. So I was pretty much just sharing like a pretty open space with like a bunch of other people and, you know, hospital workers. And so, and then I also had like a lot of the surgery team, you know, coming to like greet me and talk to me. So it was really, really hard for me to like actually find the time to like record, because it's like I didn't want to be in the middle of recording and then they're like, okay, I'm coming to like talk to you about such and such, you know, because it's like I didn't really want to hold up, you know, the surgery just to record. So that's why I was like, you know what, forget it. I'm not going to bother trying to record, and I'll just talk about it afterwards. So I'm sorry that I don't have any footage of me at the hospital. And even when I try to take like a typical like top surgery you know, hospital picture with me in a gown and everything, even that didn't turn out well. So I honestly don't want to include it, because I kind of like don't really like it that much. I did share it on my Instagram, but by the time you see this, you know, the 24 hours will be up and they'll disappear. But yeah, I really just didn't care for that picture I took either way. So yeah, you know, filming at the hospital and taking, you know, my like top surgery picture at the hospital was a huge flop, but it's okay. But yeah, so I think that's pretty much it. So right now I'm just like sucking on some cough drops, because, you know, my throat is, you know, a bit, you know, sore and everything. I'll probably like come back another day and film some more about my recovery and everything. So it is day 2, or I guess like the first full day of you know, after me having top surgery, and so far everything is pretty good. Pain wise, I'm, you know, okay. I can feel my chest just, you know, started to itch, so that's a bit like but you know, it's not unbearable, thankfully. And I also talked to the guy who is in charge of the drains, just to make sure that me and my mom are doing the drains right. And thankfully everything is okay, and that you know, there aren't any issues and everything. And I also did eat like my first like big meal today, and unfortunately I did lose like the taste with my tongue, because the foods I ate did have flavor, but it was like the flavor was like really off, and that made me sad, because one of the foods is a food that I really you know, like to eat. So it's just disappointing that, you know, I finally got to eat that food, and you know, the flavor was just off, and it just wasn't really as enjoyable as, you know, it would usually be. So that's, you know, a bit disappointing, but it is what it is. And I also decided to stop taking, you know, cough drops, because my throat is still pretty sore from, you know, them putting the tube down my throat. But I decided to stop taking the cough drops. Because the cough drops honestly weren't really helping all that much. So I decided to go back to using this, because I actually used this when I had COVID in like the summer of 2022. Me and my family ended up getting COVID, and so this really helped. Like, this was like so helpful when I had like that really bad sore throat, and just like spraying this on my throat, it really just helped like soothe my throat for a few hours and everything. So I decided to just use this instead, and it really helps. So if any of you also struggle with like having a sore throat and cough drops don't really help, I do highly recommend this, because it's a godsend. But yeah, so other than that, everything has been pretty okay. I'm just chilling right now, and I'm also trying to like drink more, because I know it's really important when you're healing to like get as much fluid in you. So yesterday I didn't really drink that much of water, but today I'm trying to like sip on water whenever I think about it. So I've already gone through, I think, 2 full bottles of water, and I'm about to go on my 3rd. So yeah, just trying to get as much water in me. I also had some pineapple, but I don't really care that much to eat like the pineapple fruit. So I'm probably just going to be drinking the juice, because my surgeon did say that pineapple juice, or just like pineapple in general, does help everything. So yeah, so that's pretty much it that I wanted to talk about with my recovery for day 2, or I guess maybe the first. I honestly don't know how to like call this, because I technically feel like it's day 2, but then it's like the first full day after surgery, so I don't know. Oh yeah, another thing I wanted to mention is that I actually didn't like, sleeping wasn't as bad as I thought, because I was the most worried about like sleeping, because you do have to sleep like you do have to sleep like sitting up at like an angle. So I was really worried that I wasn't going to be able to like sleep that well, sleeping sitting up. But it was honestly not as bad as I thought. I was able to sleep pretty easy, and I really did having a neck pillow really did help. So yeah. So I was able to sleep for about 6 hours, because it's like I kept like waking up for like a couple hours, because I guess I'm just trying to like get into the groove of sleeping sitting up. And then I also wanted to like keep checking my drains to make sure I didn't need to like change the bag. But then it's like after that I end up sleeping for like 6 hours or so. Hey y'all, so it is Saturday. It's the official full day 2 of my top surgery, and and I just got a package because one of my my Instagram best friend decided to send me some books to to help with my recovery. To show y'all what they got me. So it looks like I got the Rooster Fight. Now I remember I think someone on TikTok, I saw that someone was like showing pages of this and like reading it, and immediately I was like, I need this. Like, this manga seems like so interesting and funny, and it's basically just about like these roosters and just like their lives and everything. So I'm really excited to have this and to finally read it. Then I also got volume 2, so now I got volume 1 and 2 of these mangas, and I'm really excited to start reading them because I've been wanting to read them for like the longest. So thank you, bestie, for finally getting me these mangas to read. And yeah, I can't wait to read them and just, you know, take my mind off of the recovery, because it's been okay, but it has been a bit like tough just because, you know, I'm not able to like sleep as well as I like, and you know, just dealing with all that stuff. So yeah, I'm honestly ready to like take these bandages and drains off, and I just want to like, you know, sleep properly, and you know, just not have like everything like on my body, just but yeah, finally got this. Hey y'all, so it's my last full day that I have to wear these bandages and drains before I get to take them off, and I am so ready to take these off. Like, I honestly thought that you know, wearing a compression binder was probably going to be worse, but honestly I don't even know at this point, because these bandages, like, I really don't like them because they just dig into my chest, and so they end up making my chest hurt. And then it's also like my skin is really itchy, but I can't scratch, and it's just, I'm like really uncomfortable. Like, I can't move around you know, that much, and you know, of course I can't like really sleep that well and everything. So yeah, I'm just ready for this shit to get taken off. Like but other than that, I've been pretty good. Every day I could feel my body like getting back to normal, because I honestly wasn't even sure how long it was going to take for my body to get back to normal, because I've seen some trans guys say that, you know, it took them at least like a week maybe two, and then others said it took them a whole month. But with me, it honestly might just be a week, because I could already feel my body, you know, getting back to normal, and I'm just, you know, up, you know, just fixing my food, and you know, just feeling pretty good. So yeah, I can't wait to take this off, and then I could just go back to sleeping well. I mean, hopefully, you know, it is healing good, but yeah, just want to go back to sleeping good, and just, you know, want to take a shower for the first time, and yeah, just not have like these bandages like pressing up against me. Like, hey y'all, so today is an exciting day. I'm finally going to be getting the bandages and the drains taken out. I am like so excited, so ready to like get this over with. This has just been like so itchy, and just been digging into my skin and just like pinching me and everything, and I just want to like sleep properly too. So I wanted to show y'all the final or like the last, you know, footage of, you know, what it looks like. You see the bandages started like coming out, but yeah, this is what it looks like, and I can't wait to like get this all taken off and see what my chest looks like. So I'll see y'all in a few hours. So I just got back from my post-op appointment, and it went really well. They finally took off the bandages and the drains, and I was so happy, because I was just like, ugh. But yeah, the drains felt weird coming out. Like, they weren't uncomfortable or painful there. It just felt weird, and apparently a lot of people felt the same way too when they get in their drains out. But yeah, but for now, they did put me in this gauze to like press up against my chest to keep it flat, and you know, keep like fluid from building up. So they did suggest that I tried to like buy and wear a compression like vest or a binder, but I'm having trouble finding one that's tight enough, because I'm assuming it should be like as tight as this gauze, but the ones that I found at like sporting goods stores aren't as tight. So I'm going to call my nurse and see like what she suggests, or like what's good and everything. But other than that, everything's pretty good. I'm able to, you know, sleep however I want to sleep and everything. So I'm just really glad that everything got taken off, and yeah, flat. Oh yeah, and another thing I forgot to mention is, how long will I have to wait before I can, you know, start like freely using my arms and having it, you know, raising my arms above my head and everything. And the surgeon and the nurses said like a month pretty much. Like one of the nurses, the male nurse, said like wait at least a month before you start like lifting weights and exercising. And yeah, so the surgeon pretty much said a month. So that's going to be pretty difficult, because you really don't realize how much you use your arms to do stuff until you can't use them pretty much temporarily. And so yeah, I'm realizing that now. Actually, I realized that back when I got my when I tore my ligament in my wrist. I don't even think I actually talked about it on my channel, but yeah, so like back in early 2022 I actually tore the ligament in my wrist, and I went at least like a couple weeks, I want to say, without being able to use my wrist, and with my wrist hurting everything. And in those couple weeks that I wasn't able to use my wrist, it was difficult. Like, it was difficult not being able to easily cook food, not being able to, take a shower, just do like simple things. So I did realize even back then, when I couldn't use my wrist and, couldn't use my hand, that, you don't realize how difficult it is. But it's like, even more so now, since it's going to be longer than 2 weeks. Like, it's not just like I'm not going to be able to like freely use my arms for a couple of weeks. Like, no, it's going to be like a whole month before I could freely use my arms. And the surgeon said that it's because he doesn't want like the tissues and everything to like move around and just like mess up my chest. Because I did read online people saying like, oh, if you use your arms before you're fully healed, then it'll just mess up your scars. It'll make your scars like thicker and ugly. And I guess that might be true for some people, but in my case, my surgeon said that it'll just mess up like the tissue and everything in my chest. Like, it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the scars themselves, but it'll just like mess up, what's going on in my chest if I use my arms too much. So because of that, he wants me to wait at least a month. And yeah, it's going to be difficult for sure, because again, you really don't realize how much you use your arms. So that means I still won't be able to, do my laundry. I still won't be able to, clean my bathroom. I still won't be able to, I could cook, but trying to like grab things from like higher up, I'm still going to have to like ask my mom to give me like the seasoning, the bowls, and this and that. So that does suck that, it's now turned out to be, I'm going to have to wait a whole month. But, that's just something I'm going to have to do, and it'll be worth it, because, I'll finally have, the chest I want. So it's just something that I'll have to deal with. And yeah, so that's pretty much my update. Hey y'all, so I wanted to show you what I look like 1 week post-op. I honestly forgot to show you guys my chest when I took my first shower last week, because today is Monday. But since I just got my compression vest in the mail finally, and I just took a shower, I wanted to go ahead and show y'all what my chest be looking like. So it looks pretty nice. And yeah, now that I got the compression vest, I could finally stop wearing the gauze and just be a bit more relaxed and everything. So so my compression vest finished drying, so now I'm wearing it. And yeah, it does feel snug, but it definitely does feel much more comfortable than the gauze, because that gauze was just like not it. So yeah, just having like this vest on is much more comfortable. So hopefully that means I'll be able to sleep more comfortable at night, and just everyday wear. So yeah, so for right now, I do have a second post-op appointment next week. I'm gonna go to, so we'll see. How I've been healing and everything, and what's gonna be happening next. But yeah, and that's another thing that people online don't tell you, is that you have like multiple post-op appointments. Like, I honestly thought it was just going to be one where I would just go and get the drains out and get the bandages taken off, and then I'm good. But nah, I have to go back for like a second or third, and then now I have to wear something, compression to like press my vest and everything. Hey y'all, so it is May the 14th, and I got an update. So I honestly wasn't planning on doing like a recovery update after going to my second post-op appointment, because I just assumed that they would say like, oh, everything looks great, your chest looks great, you're good to go, and that's it. But no, I actually had some updates for y'all. So unfortunately, I do have to keep wearing the compression vest for like another month. I was honestly hoping only having to wear it until like the beginning of June, but no, I was told that I'm gonna have to continue wearing it at least until July the 1st, and then that's when they'll feel comfortable with me going without it, because the nurse did explain that because they removed like tissue, so it's like they really like want to prevent fluid buildup, which is understandable. So yeah, unfortunately I do have to continue wearing compression vests, but she did say that if I want to like get away from wearing like a compression vest and wear something else like a muscle tank for compression, I could do that too. So we'll see. But other than that, I do have some good news aside from that. So they said that right now I can do some light lifting, which I have already been doing. Like for the past week or so, I've already been doing some light lifting, like lightly raising my arms and lifting up like jugs of juice or whatever. So I've already been doing light lifting, but they did say that I can do some light lifting, and then after 3 weeks then I can move on to heavier stuff, and then after that I could like exercise and whatnot. So and then they also said that I can go ahead and do scar cream, because with the scar cream I'm going to have to use it for an entire year. Like literally every day for an entire year, in order to like minimize like the scarring and all that. So I'm going to be going to the store and trying to buy some scar cream, because they did like give like a picture of what they will recommend, and some information about scar care. So that kind of sucks, having to do it for like an entire year every day, but at the same time I would like to minimize the scarring, and it's not a big deal and everything. And the surgeon did tell me that if I do want to get nipples tattooed on me, then I could request like one of their peoples to do that like 6 months after surgery and everything. And yeah, so I think that's pretty much it went pretty well. And he did like the results of my chest and everything. So my next update, I honestly don't know when my next update is going to be, because my next appointment, my third post-op appointment, will be in like 3 months in August. So I'm not exactly sure if I'm going to be waiting all the way until August to do another update, or if like sometime in June I'll do an update, but we'll see. So unfortunately I do have a bit of bad news, sort of. So unfortunately my incision like right under my arm. It broke open, and I'll pop up somewhere on the screen of what it looks like. But yeah, the first time I noticed was like maybe a couple weeks ago or so. I did notice that there was like a thin strip, like I think right here, where I did see a bit of pink, but at the time I didn't think much of it. I just thought like, oh, my incision is, my chest is like healing. Maybe it's just like leftover, bandages or whatever. But now today, a week after my post-op appointment, and it's May the 20th, I noticed that area right there actually got bigger. So me and my mom decided to email my nurse and see like, what is this, like did the incision break open, or is it just from the drains? And she did say that the incision did break open, but it's not unusual since I am still pretty early in my post-op. I'm only like 3 or 4 weeks post-op now. I'll be like almost a month post-op. I think, yeah, this week, this Saturday. So yeah, so so that does make me feel a bit better, knowing that the incision breaking open right now isn't unusual. So I guess it sounds like it is pretty common this early on. So my nurse basically just said, if there's any drainage, if there's anything like coming out of it, and then to put an ABD pad on it, which they did give me like 4 of these ABD pads when they put me in the gauze during my first post-op appointment. But yeah, and other than that, she said just to watch out for any like infection symptoms, like fever, it hurting, anything like that. And I won't be able to do any type of scar care until it heals, because she said that I can use like scar strips after it heals. So I guess that means I won't be able to do any type of scar care until after it heals, which kind of sucks, because I did kind of wanted to go ahead and start scar care as soon as I can, since I have to use it every single day for an entire year. So I wanted to be able to do that, but I won't be able to. And then she also said that I could do like scar revision, but that has to be like a few months, or I guess maybe like a year after surgery. I can't remember what she said, but she said that they could do like scar revisions like a few months or like a year after my surgery. So they're not going to be able to do anything right now. But yeah, that's basically it. So that's really the only thing I could do. So yeah, the only thing I could really do right now is just to watch out for it. Watch out for any like fever, any infection symptoms. Watch out for like any drainage coming from it, and just to keep my compression vest on. And yeah, so I can't really do much, so I just have to basically let it heal. And I don't know how long it is going to take to heal, but I am going to be more careful when it comes to like reaching, because the nurse that I went to for my last post-op appointment did say I could do like light, stretching, reach or whatever. But now that my scissor has broken open, I'm not going to be able to like do a whole lot of lifting and stretching. So I'm gonna just be a bit more careful and everything. And yeah, so I just wanted to give that a little bit of update, since it is kind of like a setback, because like I said, I'm not going to be able to do any scar care while I wait for it to heal, and I don't know how long it's going to take for it to heal. But thankfully, it's not bad. Like, it's not, too deep. Thankfully, there is no drainage. Thankfully, I'm not experiencing any infection system symptoms, so I just have to like watch out for it. Hey y'all, so it's been a while. It's actually May the 30th, so June is about to be here in a couple days, and I'm excited about it and everything. But I am gonna end off the video here. I am still in my recovery though, but I just figure, you know, this video is getting, you know, long enough, and I want to go ahead and edit it and get it up for y'all to watch and see, and also have some like things I want to talk about with my entire recovery process, just to, you know, end things off and everything. But if any of you are still interested in like seeing more of my recovery, like, you know, a few months from now and everything, you can like follow me on my Instagram. It'll be linked down below. But yeah, you could just like follow me on my Instagram, because I'll still be like giving updates about you know, my incision breaking and, you know, how that's healing. And then my fourth, I think my third post-op appointment, everything. So yeah, just follow me on my Instagram. So first things first, I want to talk about the surgery day process, because you know, like I said, you know, in the earlier clip, I wasn't able to like film the actual surgery day at all, because it was just like a lot going on and everything. So I didn't really have time to like take my camera out, put the battery in, record, you know, because it was just like everybody, you know, that was on my surgery team just, you know, kept coming in, you know, giving me like details of what's going to happen and everything. But I do want to go ahead and talk about the surgery day process. So I got up and I went to the university hospital, because I did get my surgery done at a university hospital. So I went to the university hospital. I, you know, signed in everything, you know, did paperwork and everything, and waited. Then I was taken into the back, which, you know, I thought I was actually going to be taken into my own room, because I saw other people you know, get their own like little room. So that's why I thought like, oh cool, you know, I could get my own room to chill in, you know, before after surgery. I could like do like a little room tour and everything. But fortunately, no, I wasn't given my own room. I was taken into like this open, like if any of you have been to like a hospital and you see like an open room with like all those beds, and the beds are like separated by just like a thick curtain. That's basically where I was put in. So I was put in a bed, and I had like the curtain around me, and, you know, there were just like different like nurses and like people on the team, like anesthesiologists, and, you know, my surgeon and everybody else who worked on me, you know, came in and explained, you know, to me like, you know, this is what's going to happen. Do you have any questions? Like, you know, just let me know everything. But they were all cool. I really like my surgery team. They were really cool, and I really appreciate them like looking out for me and making sure that I was going to be okay. And, you know, they also gave me some liquids, like a liquid to like cool the acid in my stomach, and also gave me like a liquid to like calm my nerves, because I do suffer from social anxiety. So I really appreciate, you know, just like them, you know, making sure I'm good and everything. But yeah, so went through that process, and then my surgeon finally came in, and he did like, you know, the typical markings and everything, and you know, I had to like put on the gown, you know, take all of my clothes off, on the gown, everything. And then after that, I'm trying to remember, because that day was honestly a blur. Like once they once one of the surgery team members like gave me some medicine to like knock me out pretty much, that entire, like the rest of the day was pretty much a blur, because I was just like, you know, I was like couldn't even like focus. So yeah, all I remember is that they did roll my bed into the surgery room, and then they told me to like get onto like the table. I don't know if it was the surgery table or just get onto a table, and then I laid down, and then I think I had a mask put over me, and then that's all I remember. I was completely like knocked out, and then when I woke up, it was after surgery. I was, in my bed, my mom was with me. I was in pain, which I'm glad that the pain wasn't that bad. Because for me, it was kind of like between a 5 and a 6 out of 10. So it wasn't that bad, but it was like, it was uncomfortable. So they did give me some medicine to like, relax and everything. But yeah, one thing I kind of didn't really appreciate, I don't even remember who it was, because again, after surgery I was pretty much knocked out, but I kind of didn't really appreciate when one of the people that looked after me was like, because when I told her like, oh, I'm in pain, it's like between a 5 out, it's between a 5 and a 6. I kind of didn't really appreciate when she was like, well, you're gonna have pain, because it's like, obviously I know, like obviously I know with having, surgery and everything, there is gonna be pain, but nobody wants it to be really, really painful, like that's why we have like IV, drips with, for like pain, and pain meds and everything. So it's like, obviously I know that, I'm gonna be in pain, but it's some type of pain, but I don't want it to be like extremely like uncomfortable, unbearable. So but of course I didn't really like comment on that, because I was like tired, knocked out, whatever. So I just brushed it off, and she did end up going out and letting them know that I was like in pain, and they did give me some pain meds and everything. So after that, I was pretty much okay. My mom, and I remember my mom feeding me some crackers to get some food in my stomach, because couldn't eat at all before surgery. And then afterwards I was I had help getting my clothes on, and then I was wheeled out into the car. I got in the car, came home, could barely get up the stairs. I was like so slow getting up the stairs, because normally I'm like fast, like walking up and down the stairs, but I was as slow as my stepdad. So when I got home, I just relaxed in bed, just chill, just ate like a sandwich, because my surgeon did say that I could eat like whatever, but like for that day, that first day, like after having surgery, he said to not eat like any steak dinner, which is funny that he said not to eat any like steak dinners, because the previous night my mom did make like pork steak. So yeah, so we knew like not to give me any pork steak, which I didn't really have much of an appetite, and I did read from some trans guys online say that they didn't really have much of an appetite like a couple days after surgery. So I expected myself to not have any appetite, especially on the first day. So I pretty much only ate just a simple bologna sandwich, fried bologna sandwich, and I can't remember if I even had chips with it, but I had just a fried bologna sandwich, so then I could take, my pain pills and, my antibiotics and everything. And yeah, the rest of the day I pretty much just relaxed. I don't really remember much, because again, I was just like really tired and just out of it. So I do want to talk a bit about the recovery process, and also how long it took for my throat to feel better, because if any of you have like seen like top surgery vlogs, and you read from like Reddit and everything online about like having a tube in your throat, then that I want to talk a bit about that. But yeah, the recovery process honestly wasn't as bad as I thought, because I remember reading where people were like, everybody's body is different, so some people are able to like bounce back like after a week, and then one person said it took them a whole month to get back to normalcy. So I really didn't know like how my body was going to feel, but thankfully it didn't even take a full week for my body to feel better. I want to say like maybe 4 days, like maybe like 4 days. Like on the 4th day I really did start to like feel better. I wanted to like get back to like normalcy and everything. So yeah, thankfully the recovery process wasn't as bad. The first few days I was, you know, tired. But thankfully I wasn't in pain, because that's another thing that I've seen a lot of trans guys talk about too, is, you know, the pain pills that you're given causes constipation. So like one trans guy said that he had like really bad constipation, and that he really had a hard time using the bathroom for like the first few days. And he said that he should have taken like more stool softener. So thankfully I didn't have to go through that, because I only had pain that one day, my surgery day, and then after that I was Gucci. So literally like after, you know, I got the pain meds through the IV, and I took another pain med when I came home, I was Gucci for like the rest of the week. Like I didn't have any pain at all. I was only like really tired. But yeah, I'm really glad that I didn't have any pain, especially since the pain meds are also narcotics. I think that's what they're called, but yeah, they're also narcotics, so it's easy to like get addicted to them. And my mom said that she heard from like another trans person that, you know, what they did was that if they were having like really bad pain, then they would take the prescribed pain pills, but if they were having minor pain, then they would just take over the counter. But thankfully I didn't have to take any pain pills, because I didn't have any pain, and I didn't have to deal with any constipation. Like my bowel movements were really good. So yeah, I was really glad about that. And yeah, about the whole throat feeling better, so it did take at least a week, maybe more, for my throat to like feel better, because like it was really rough. Like those few days, even that entire week, like I was still dealing with, you know, my throat hurting whenever I ate, you know, whenever I drank something, you know, just like I really didn't enjoy it. And I kept like coughing, so I had to like keep popping like cough drops and use like that throat spray. So it's like, I honestly feel like that was like one of the hardest parts about recovery, was just like my throat, from, you know, the tube being in my throat, you know, just like really hurting me. But thankfully, you know, I think after like maybe a week and a half, my throat did completely heal, so I'm fine now. Thankfully I'm fine. So yeah, so I already talked about, you know, not needing to take any pain pills, not needing to take any stool softeners. But another thing is that I'm glad I didn't have to be on any sort of diet, because when I was doing research, I did read that I was going to have to be on a diet. And I did film, you know, an earlier clip that you guys should have seen, where I said that, you know, I was going to have to be on like a high fiber, what I say, like no red meat, no dairy type of diet, because mostly because of like constipation and swelling. Is what I read from this one website, is that, you know, because of constipation, because of swelling, they recommended not to like eat anything that will cause, you know, those to like flare up. But like I said, you know, thankfully I didn't deal with any constipation, and my surgeon did say that I could eat, you know, whatever I want. I didn't have to be on any sort of diet. I could pretty much drink whatever I want, eat whatever I want. Of course not, you know, drink anything like alcohol or, you know, smoke or anything. But yeah, so I was really glad about it. So there was a little incident that I did end up doing, which it could have been the cause of my scissor breaking open. I don't know. But yeah, so this one day I did end up like reaching really far up with my arms to grab some salt and pepper, which I shouldn't have done at all. You know, you're not supposed to do that, but I couldn't help myself, because I was really like mentally, I was really like frustrated and annoyed, because our AC has been broken since, you know, before I even got surgery. So it's like I was dealing with, you know, the extreme heat. I was dealing with, you know, being tired of dealing with you know, the drains of bandages. So I just really wanted everything to just like get off of me and just like go back to normalcy. But yeah, I shouldn't have done that at all, and it could have been the cause. I don't know. So I want to talk about the hardest things I had to deal with recovery. So obviously one of the hardest things I had to deal with recovery is needing help with things. So because you're not able to use your arms, because you gotta like be careful with your chest and your incisions and everything. So it has been difficult for a person like me who normally does everything and likes to do everything, like make my own food, clean my own bathroom, do my own laundry. Like those things have been, pretty difficult, having to like get my mom to like reach up and get, some seasoning, or to like, grab, a water bottle or something, or, having her to like do my laundry and clean the bathroom. So that has been, pretty difficult to like deal with, and that's why a couple times I have just been like really frustrated and just like did whatever, reach my arm up even though I'm not supposed to and everything. And then the second hardest thing is hard to deal with is wearing a compression vest, because I have to wear 2 compression vests to make sure it's tight enough against my chest, because I have to wear compression for another month, because that's what I was told in my last appointment, that they're giving me until like July the 1st to like keep wearing the compression, because the nurse said that by July the 1st that's when they will like feel comfortable for me to like not have to wear compression anymore, don't have to worry about fluid buildup. So that is something that's a bit difficult to deal with too. And that's not to say that the compression vest I have is uncomfortable. Like it is uncomfortable, especially like more comfortable than wearing gauze. But it's like, it's still like compression, so it's not something that, like, I guess in a way it's kind of like still having to wear a binder, but like 24/7. I'm sure like some trans guys can relate to wearing a binder 24/7 when you're not supposed to. But with the compression vest, it's like it's okay to wear it 24/7, but that doesn't make it like any less uncomfortable, especially when it comes to sleep. And so when it comes to sleeping, I'm a side sleeper. So it has been difficult not being able to sleep on my sides, because when I try to sleep on my sides, I'm not very comfortable. And then ever since like tearing open my incision, I have to like be careful of sleeping on my side, because I don't want to like irritate the incision or like make the incision worse and everything. So having to like solely sleep on my back has been difficult. But anybody who normally sleeps on their back, they might be okay, like you might be okay. But for someone who is mainly a side sleeper, it is difficult. And I honestly can't imagine stomach sleepers. Like stomach sleepers, you definitely will have your work cut out for you, because you will not be able to sleep on your stomach, lay on your stomach, or anything. Because I remember one time I did kind of like leaned over a bit, sitting up on the bed though, but I have kind of like leaned over a bit, and even just doing that kind of like made my chest feel a bit like weird and tight. So it's like you really have to like pretty much stay sitting up and sleeping on your back. So another thing that's been difficult to deal with is my period coming back. So it's sorry if you could hear them outside working or whatever, but yeah, that's something that has been really difficult to deal with also, is my period coming back, because I had to go, like I had to be without taking my T shots for the first 2 weeks before surgery and the first 2 weeks after. So in total that's like 4 weeks without being on T. And for the most part it was actually not that bad, because I was able to let my thighs heal a bit, because I suffer from like scar tissue from stabbing my thighs every week with needles. So it's actually been pretty nice letting my thighs heal, and you know, not having to be like so sensitive, so painful. But the downside is that my period did end up coming back, and you know, even with that, like everybody's body is different. So like some people, you know, might only have to deal with their period for a couple weeks and then it might go away. But fortunately with me, when my period went away the first time, it did take a few months for it to go away. So I imagine it'll probably take a few months for it to go away again this time. So that is really sucky, and you know, I am dealing with like spotting and whatnot, but them's the breaks. You know, I have to like let the testosterone build back up in my body. So but that's something that, you know, you should keep note of, if you know, because you'll most likely have to, you know, go out T for, you know, for a week. So another thing that's been really difficult, which not a lot of people will have to deal with it, I just end up not having great luck, but having no AC. So having no AC in the spring and summertime, living in the deep south where it's like 100, literally feels like 100, it's been so difficult, you know, not being able to like sleep comfortably because it's really hot, not being able to like, you know, just be comfortable throughout the day because it's just like so hot in the house, and having like all of these fans but they're not really helping, and it's just like, it's so difficult. Then it's like having the compression vest on, like something like extra layers, and just being like so hot and sweaty. It's just like so difficult dealing with like no AC, and I'm just like, I'm ready for my the AC to get fixed because I'm just tired of it. And I am like hoping that I'll be able to sleep better and just, you know, feel a bit better about recovery once the AC gets fixed. And last but not least is my incision tearing open. So yeah, it was frustrating having my incision tearing open and having to like let my body recover, but thankfully it has been recovering great. It is like really close to being closed, so I imagine hopefully by Sunday next week or like a few days after, it'll be completely closed. But yeah, that's just, you know, another thing that you have to, it's been hard to deal with. So I want to talk about the type of drains that I had and about getting them removed and everything. So if any of you have done like a lot of research on like top surgery, you've seen a lot of top surgery vlogs, you will be like under the impression that everybody will be using like those little bulb type drains where you pretty much just screw it off and then you just pour the blood down the drain and then you screw it back on and that's it. I didn't have those type of drains. The type of drains I had was like this contraption. I forgot what it's called, otherwise I would show a picture. But yeah, I had like this little contraption that like went around my stomach, and it was actually like really easy to use. I thought it was going to be difficult to use, but it was actually like really easy to use because the machine pretty much did everything for me. So all I had to do was pretty much just, when it was time to like change the bag, the machine will say like, you know, it will show like it's orange, which means, you know, it's ready to like change the bag. So my mom would just like take out the bag, she will jot down like how much blood that came out, you know, we will like throw it away, put on a new bag, and then the machine will like, you know, go back to like draining. But yeah, the machine was honestly not that bad, and I really liked it honestly. So yeah, so you might get the bulb, you might get that machine, I don't know, but I'm honestly glad that I ended up getting that machine instead of the bulb, because I don't know, I feel like the bulb just looked a bit, you know, weird and whatever. But yeah, and I kind of like how, you know, the machine really just did like everything for you, let you know when it was time to you know, change the bag, and then it's like you didn't have to reuse the bag, you could just, you know, toss it down and put a new bag in. So yeah, I had gotten my after like, I think it might have been like the 5th day, I was able to get my drains and bandages removed, and I was so happy. Like, I was so glad to get them taken off. And honestly, getting the drains taken out, like the tubes felt really weird. And it's funny because the nurses said that that's what everybody says, is that getting the drains taken out feels so weird. Like, that's their exact words. But yeah, it felt weird, but it didn't feel like uncomfortable, which I'm sure a lot of people do say, is that it didn't like hurt. It just felt like weird and maybe a bit uncomfortable. But yeah, it was weird because it was like tubes being like pulled out of my chest. It was just, yeah, it was weird. But yeah, and I was really glad to like get the bandages taken off. So yeah, with the bandages, they had it like not necessarily glued, but it was kind of like taped to me. So there was some pain, but honestly, compared to, like, honestly, I didn't mind like the bit of pain, because I was just glad to like get the bandages taken off and everything. And then after they took the bandages and the drains off, they pretty much just wrapped me really tight in gauze, which was horrible. It was like so tight. My sides were like, I was really worried about my ribs being bruised, honestly. But yeah, I had to wear that gauze until I got my compression vest in the mail that I got from Amazon. So next, I want to talk about the things that people don't mention, because now that I've experienced top surgery myself, there are some things that I feel like not a lot of people mention, like online, on YouTube. And one of the things is that since you're not able to raise your arms up high, you are going to be tend to want to like reach your arms out to the side. But you got to be careful with doing that, because if you do that like too much and too hard, you might end up pulling a muscle like I did. Like, for example, one night I was late. I was sitting in bed and I was reaching my arm out to grab my my water, and so when I did that, I ended up pulling a muscle that lasted for like a few days. My arm is okay now, but it did last, like the pain lasted for a few days. But that is something you'll have to be careful of, is to make sure you don't stretch your arms out to the side too much, because it will be putting like pressure on your arms even that way too. And another thing a lot of people don't talk about is your incision tearing open. So that's something that you really also got to be careful of. So my nurse did say that it's not unusual for being a few weeks post-op, a month post-op. So that's honestly good to know that it's not unusual, but it's like you still have to be careful to not try to not tear your incision open, or you'll just deal with what I had to deal with. And last but not least is dry skin. So you might be dealing with dry skin because again, you have the bandages on. You right after you take the bandages off and the drains off, you'll probably have to wear a compression vest and everything, or gauze. So you will really have to take care to keep your skin moisturized, because I did experience like a lot of dryness like right after I got my drains and bandages taken off, and I had to wear gauze and then the compression vest. So thankfully the nurse did say that I can use the Cetaphil like moisturizing cream that I use for my face. She said that I can use that to like moisturize like the skin like under my chest, under my incisions. But if you don't have Cetaphil moisturizing cream, you can use unscented, because that's what she told me, to use anything that's like unscented. So that's my little tip for right there. So now I want to talk about how top surgery has improved my life. So this is something that I honestly could talk about in like a 6-month update or a year update, but I kind of want to go ahead and talk about it now, because I've already like noticed the improvements of my life since getting top surgery. So naturally, getting top surgery did alleviate the dysphoria. Like, my dysphoria for my chest is completely gone. So naturally that happened, but I don't really want to talk about that because that's not like the biggest thing. But yeah, so a lot of trans folks think that with like getting gender affirming care is all about appearances, and 50% for most people is appearances, but the other 50% is about improving our lives. And so when I got top surgery, it really improved my life, because before I got top surgery I was snoring. So I started to like snore in my sleep whenever I would sleep on my back, because I had gained a bit of weight, plus I had like all of that weight on my chest. So because I had all of this weight on me, it was causing me to snore. But now that I've had all of that weight like taken off of my chest, I no longer snore when I sleep on my back. And another thing that improved is my chronic fatigue. So I've dealt with a lot of chronic fatigue, because even if I were to go to bed as early as midnight or 1, and wake up at like 9 or 10, I would wake up feeling so tired, and I never knew why I would feel so tired waking up when I got a full good night of sleep. I went to bed early. I shouldn't be tired. I should be well rested, but for some reason every time I woke up I was so tired. And now that I've gotten top surgery, I now know that I was so tired because of my chest, because every single day having my chest, having those big boobs, just really like it was mentally taxing. Like it was really mentally and physically taxing, and because it was so mentally and physically taxing, it was just really affecting me being able to sleep well and just live day to day. So I have noticed that now, having top surgery, I no longer suffer from chronic fatigue. I do feel well rested, and now the only times I might not feel well rested is if I stay up late, because I am a night owl and I do like to stay up late. So if I stay up till like 2 or 3 in the morning, naturally I'm going to be tired. And I also do suffer from food coma. So if I eat a meal, I am going to suffer from a food coma, suffer from being tired from that. But that's natural. Like there's nothing I could do about that, especially since I'm anemic. But thankfully, at least when it came to the chronic fatigue with my chest and being able to like wake up every day without feeling so tired, without feeling like I'm not well rested, that has went away. Last but not least is the back and shoulder pain. So I have dealt with naturally with having really big boobs. I honestly don't even know what size, like what cup size my boobs were. But yeah, I used to suffer from back and shoulder pain, but now I no longer suffer from back and shoulder pain, and now I am able to like have better posture, because I used to be like so hunched over, but now I feel comfortable like having my shoulders back and having like sitting up straight like this. So that has really improved too. So another thing I want to talk about is the swelling. So with me, I did deal with a little bit of concern, and I have gone on Reddit and I saw like a couple other guys have also dealt with this type of concern. But when you get top surgery, right after, you are going to notice that your chest is a bit like poking out, and it's a bit like puffing out in a way where it looks like you still have boobs. So I want y'all to know, do not worry about that. Do not worry about your chest looking like boobs, it poking out or anything. That is just a swelling. And I did hear from some people say that swelling will take at least 6 months to go down. So I just want y'all to know, to like alleviate that concern that you might have, that you will most likely deal with swelling, and it will make your flat chest look like you still have boobs. But just know your boobs are not there. They're not there anymore. You do have a flat chest. It's just a swelling that needs to take time to go down, because even I have noticed now, since like a few weeks ago when I first like looked at my chest, now my chest does look like it's getting like flatter and the swelling is going down. So that's it that I want to talk about. Everything, my little tips for post-op surgery recovery, and the things that I've dealt with, the things I experienced, the hardships and everything. So last but not least, I do want to tell y'all who my surgeon was and where he's based in. So my surgeon is, and I'll have on the screen too, my surgeon is Dr. Mark Walker, and he's based in Jackson, Mississippi. So if any of you live in Jackson, if any of you live in Mississippi, or if any of you live out of state and you're willing to come travel to Mississippi, that's who my surgeon is. And I really like him. Like, I really like the results, and he's also like a really nice guy, and you know, he just did a really good job. His surgery team, you know, were really nice and kind. They did a good job of making sure I was well taken care of, and I just overall had a really great experience. So I do highly recommend him if, you know, you do live in Mississippi or you're willing to travel to Mississippi. He is a surgeon that I would highly recommend you checking him out. So that's, you know, Dr. Mark Walker in Jackson, Mississippi. So that's it for my top surgery vlog. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I'm sure it's pretty long, and it's just a lot of talking, but I feel like it's a lot of stuff that, you know, needs to be shared and needs to be talked about and everything. So I hope y'all enjoyed, and let me know down below if any of y'all had top surgery, or if you're planning on getting top surgery. Just, you know, all that good stuff. So like this video if you like, subscribe for more content like this, share this video, follow me on my social media links. I'm on TikTok, Instagram, all that good stuff. And like I said, if I am still in the middle of recovery, I'm still recovering from, you know, the incision tearing open, and I'm also still in my top surgery recovery, still having to wear the compression vest, still got another post-op appointment to go to. So I still got a bit of recovery left to go through. So if you still want to like follow me on my recovery journey and, you know, see like updates from me, do follow me on my Instagram. My Instagram will be linked down below, but I'll also have on the screen my Instagram handle and everything, and you know, keep up to date with me behind the scenes. So yeah, so thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all in next video. So here's what my chest looks like about a month post-op, because I realized I haven't done like an update for like a few weeks. So yeah, I got my compression vest on, but yeah, this is what it looks like. So it's looking pretty good. Yeah, see, so it's like compared to before, you know, the swelling has gone down significantly. So there's still a bit of swelling that has to go, but I'm pretty satisfied with the results.